I will get more now on the Anambra governorship election. Our political editor, Seun Kimbalo, is standing by at the Collation Center in Awka. Seun.
Thank you, Amarachi, and welcome to the Collation Center here at the INEC headquarters in Awka, Anambra State. Well, it's still inactivity. That is what we're experiencing right now, because the result from Orumba North is still being collated, and a lot of discrepancies that have been identified are being tabled, and party agents sitting with INEC and the RA and the local government officials are looking into the figures. They are tabling it all over again. They are realigning the figures all over again, and that's taking several hours now. For almost 2.5 hours now, they began that exercise, that process. Don't forget that here, our local government, they declared no election in that local government. But for Orumba and Hiala, those are the contentious local government. 19 results so far have been turned in. But here at the Collation Center, which has become some kind of a media center, because cameras are all over the room, and journalists, our colleagues across the other stations are also here, from newspapers to television, radio. Everybody has their ears and eyes right in this room, waiting for the moment when the professor, the vice chancellor, the first female vice chancellor of the University of Calabar comes into the room and begin the process again. That is what we're expecting. We're expecting now to be able to give us a headway whether or not we know a winner in this election, because those two local governments are critical for us to know who will carry the day and which political party will eventually be declared a winner in this governorship election, which started on the 6th of November 2021. Amara.
Well, Seun, well, they have been announcing those results all day today. So, of course, I know you have a long way to go. But what are we hearing really, from Orumba and Ihiala, the trouble spots that you mentioned earlier?
Yes, for Ihiala, it's a situation where there are complaints by INEC officials that they were resistant, the threat to life, threat of violence, and so there are no elections in Ihiala local government area. For in Orumba North is a situation of discrepancy in the figures that have been tabled and tabulated, and that's the reason why they need to realign, recalculate, re-enter the figures so they can, because the party agents had raised objections, they had raised issues concerning the figures, and they have to refill it all over again, and those are the contentions between those two local governments. Don't forget, 21 local government areas, 19, but these two local governments, obviously there are no figures for Hiala because it was declared, and no elections. The one that is contentious is Orumba North, and so when that result is returned back into this room and announced, then we can say, oh, it's Hiala alone that we are expecting, or elections will be held in that later on, or we don't know what INEC will say in that regard, whether or not this election can be declared conclusive or inconclusive, or whatever way INEC return into this election is something that we have seen in the past before, especially in Anambra. You remember the Idemili North and Idemili South. In the history of Anambra governorship election, it looks like something that is replaying itself, but we'll leave all of that to INEC to figure out and give us a clear picture of where to go from this very point. Amara.
Thank you, Seun, for the updates. I'm sure we'll be reaching out to you as soon as something comes up and they re-emerge, to begin to announce what the decisions are concerning, especially those two local government areas. Our political editor, Seun Kimbalo from Awka.